welcome back to Model Maker Dave's Workshop. I'm Dave. Hello everyone. Give us a few seconds to get everything sorted out with the cameras and the microphone and the lights and this and that and everything else, and maybe make a cup of tea. And I will see you down on the bench. Hello and welcome back to the bench. This is a video for the 3D print guys this time rather than model making. Now, what have I been up to? Well, it's all about Dave's chopper. Or should I now really start calling it Dave's cutting and chopping workstation, because that's what this is now developing into. Let's move some stuff around and then you can see what's going on. I think in the last video that I did that this made its appearance, it was just the T-bar and the cutting arm. So what I've now gone on and done is I've made my own measurement marker just on a piece of ordinary masking tape and a very fine marker pen. I've created a small bucket to keep all the end stops in so that they don't get lost, even though I've already gone and lost one. Where it's gone, I have no idea, so I'm going to need to print off another one. There has been a very fine adjustment on this T-bar. I've made a small notch in here just so that when the blade comes down, it's on the other side of the piece of work that's about to be cut, because before that was put in, it was going through but it just wasn't cutting properly. So I've made a small update. When I print off another one of these T-bars, that update has now been included into that. The other thing that I have done on that update is I've now created like a small bracket so that this second arm can be put on it, because this one has been designed to take the Stanley styled blade, so that can just sit on there quite happily and be out the way. I will need to make some kind of blade guard, because I know for a fact I will catch myself on it and I will bleed for Queen and Country. I know that for a fact. It's just waiting to happen. I've also created or printed off a mitre block to give me the 90, 45 and 30 degree angle. I've still got one more to print off that's going to go on this side, and that will give me degree angles between 20 to 35 degrees. Why I picked those, I'm not entirely sure, but I think they should be alright for when trying to create a roll cage or something to go inside a body shell of a car. The other thing that I am working on at the moment, and it's well, yes, no, it's kind of there. This is the second print off of this. The first one was completely useless. Don't quite know where I went wrong, but I went wrong everywhere that I could probably go wrong. The whole idea is where you've got this peg hole, you've got a peg on there, that then goes in there, and it's really for when you're cutting very fine pieces of plastic without the need to put your finger down near where the blade's going to go and risk the chance of slicing skin as well as plastic. It's not a good idea. The idea is that when you do the cuts, it flies away from the blade, and I don't know whether you can see, but it should ricochet off this deflector shield, for want of a better wording, and it should end up in either one of these two catch buckets, I suppose is another way of putting it. And then when you finish doing all your cutting, you can just tap them and out they come. I need to make another adjustment because I've got too much of a gap between blade and catcher, and I think I need to remove this bit here at about that kind of angle, so that if it's a long piece of work it's got a chance of somewhere to go. So on that kind of a note, if you are working with a 3D printer and you're going through a design process of whatever it is that you're going through and trying to design, keep going with it, because all right, you might print off 2, 3, 4 editions of whatever it is that you're trying to design, but you're going through the prototype and the proof of concept that what you're trying to do will eventually work once you've made those fine small changes. It's the same with this tiny little notch. It's probably no more than 1 or 2 millimeters deep, but it's that small change that's made the whole difference for both cutting arms, because it now works properly. And the difference between kind of working properly and working properly makes all the difference. So that's that. So this really started off, I think in the last video, it literally was just the cutting arm, the T-bar, and that was probably about as far as I got with it. And yeah, kind of between friends comically known as Dave's Chopper, but I think really, to be fair and honest, I think it needs to be changed and become Dave's Chopping and Cutting Workstation. I think is probably a better title for it. So that's that. So that's where I've got to on that. It's almost there. There's a couple of bits to be done, but it's now at a point that I can actually use this for what I intended it to be used for, and I'm feeling very chuffed with where I've got to with it, and the fact that what I've designed in the virtual world has now come into the real world via the 3D printer, and it all works, which is brilliant. And the feeling of success and everything with it is yeah, it's fun. It needs to be done. So moving that one aside and moving on to something else that I've started working on, and this is in its infancy, and yeah, I need to change the way that these are being printed out, because they're a little bit rough and ready. Oh, excuse me, but function over form, these will work. Though it needs to be tidied up a little bit, and it is literally a bit of Tamiya finishing paper cut to 5mm in thickness and stuck around here, and this is what you get. You get a detailed sander that you can use on fine parts or on fuselages or tank guns and other cylindrical or curved items, including car body shells for around the wings and so on. Excuse me. And the flexibility that I've got with this is I can print those so that I've got a 22.5 or a 17 degree, but if I needed something a little bit more that way or that way. I just make an adjustment within the software, save it, send it to the printer, wait for, I think they take about an hour and a half to print off, there or thereabouts, and it's done. And I can also, if I want to, I can change the thickness of the paper or the width of the paper that I want to use. So I could say, okay, well, I want one that I can only use a 3mm bit of paper, but then I can change it and say, okay, well, I want 15mm because it's slightly bigger. So I've got flexibility in more ways than one. And proof of concept with this one, which is one of the first ones that I printed off, it does work, because I've used it on a helicopter that I'm working on at the moment and doing the seam line. Job done. Lovely chubbly. So I think that's it for this update for what I've been doing on the 3D printer. What I do after the cutting station is all finished and I've finalised what I'm doing with these, what I do after that, in truth, I have no idea. However, shameless plug time, myself and Colin over at Festa 67's workshop, we must be slightly mad, but we are going to be doing some live upgrades on the 3D printers. As live as in it probably live. It's no edits, no retakes, no nothing. It's as you see it. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong, but hopefully not. So on that, yeah, what could possibly go wrong? So that is end of November. I can't remember the exact date, but what I will do is there is a link for it, so you can set a reminder. So I'll put that in the notes on this one, and if you so choose, you can come along and watch us and see how it goes. So apart from that, it just remains for me to say thank you very much for watching. If you haven't done so, then please subscribe, hit the bell so that you get the notifications of when I upload more content, and I will see you in the next one.